Mr. Gibbs, come here. Hey, come here. Hey, look. Oh, my God. Somebody have to go and tell the Reverend. I'll go. Mr. Burnett.
Yes?
Mr. Burnett.
Yes?
Mr. Burnett, it's your brother, something dreadful.
My brother? What devilry has he done now?
That's just the thing, sir. He ain't done nothing and he won't do nothing. He's dead, sir. I've been in France. I've never seen the like of that. There's nothing left of his head. Smashed in like it was an eggshell.
One blow. One single, all-destroying blow.
Here, look, that's what done it.
I should leave that there if I were you. James.
Wait, there. Come on, stand back.
You recognize this hammer, Mrs. Barnes?
It's ours. My husband's. Belongs to the smithy.
Where is he usually kept?
There.
Well, in the open?
People around here aren't thieves.
No. Only murderers. Doctor?
Yes, I've looked at it. That's the weapon, all right. Not a doubt of it.
Will you come with us, Mrs. Barnes?
You can laugh all you want to, but I'll tell you this much. It was no human hand.
I suppose you're all powerful gods.
Never mind, old
Careful, Mr. Gibbs. Already today one man has blasphemed, now he lies dead. Mr. Gibbs is a rationalist.
Indeed.
I don't know what that means. I'm an atheist. There's only one kind of soul I believe in. You see, I'm the shoemaker around here.
The devil may have the best tunes, but hardly the best jokes.
Look, all I'm saying is they're making a mystery where there ain't none. There's only one man in these parts could have done it, and he's the man that would have done it. I ain't naming no names.
But you mean my husband. But they're wrong. Simeon couldn't have. Anyway, he isn't even here. He's in Greenford.
More likely halfway to France by now.
Take it the blacksmith is a powerfully built man.
It's not his match this side of Threlf.
Then you're wrong, Mr. Gibbs, when you say there's no mystery. There is at least the mystery of why so strong a man should strike so big a blow with so small a hammer. After all, he had several to choose from.
Talk. Who else could have done it?
Oh, indeed, but I can provide you with an even greater mystery. I've examined the body.
Doctor?
I'm only saying what anybody who's not a fool could see for himself. Now, to say that the skull had been crushed would be an understatement. Fragments of bone had been driven into the body and into the ground like bullets into a mud wall, and yet only one blow had been struck. Now, Mr. Gibbs says that the blacksmith and no one else could have done it.
I never named no
I'll go
names.
even further. I'll say that no one could have done it.
Well, Doctor, we know that somebody did. Now, who was it found the body?
I suppose I did.
What time was that?
7 o'clock, a bit after. I was on my way to the churchyard. I had a grave to dig. Old Sam Drayton died yesterday. Well, I sees him, the colonel, lying there dead. Then Mr. Gibbs comes out, then the reverend gentleman.
You up early too, Mr. Gibbs?
I always am. I don't like to miss nothing.
And I spent the night as a guest at the vicarage.
Oh?
Yes, I'm conducting the yearly mission at Threlford. You ought to come.
Well, then, the next step is to find out who was the last person to see Colonel Boone alive. Yes, Mrs. Barnes?
Inspector, I believe I was the last one to see my brother. That is, of course, apart from whoever it was killed him.
Yes, Mr. Boone?
We met outside the smithy, exchanged a few words. It wasn't a very friendly meeting. My brother was given to blasphemy. It upset me. I went into the church.
And then?
I prayed.
Yes?
One loses track of time. I suppose I must have been there 20 minutes before Mr. Mallory came and told me there had been a tragedy.
That's right, sir.
Have you any idea what your brother was doing in the village at so early an hour?
I'm not sure that I should...
Inspector, I think I can answer that question.
Yes, Mrs. Barnes?
If we could talk privately, perhaps at home, my house.
As you wish.
And I'd like Father Brown to be present. He's my confessor.
Well, this is hardly a spiritual matter.
Well, if murder isn't, Inspector, I'm sure I don't know what is.
I suppose I have no objections.
Pity about that. We might have heard something worth hearing.
Is that all you can think about? Gossip. A man has been killed.
I mean, in no disrespect, sir, I think we all know why. I mean, just because I'm an atheist, it don't follow that I ain't moral.
Shut your mouth, man.
Which is to say, not speaking of the dead, but he took his chance. He had his little bit of fun on the sly. We all knew someone was going to put pay to him.
I like maybe someday somebody will put pay to you and that evil mind of yours.
Time enough to worry about that when it happens. Tell me, Alf, how's that pretty daughter of yours getting on up in London, eh?
They won't let me see him. Well, that can only mean one thing. It isn't James. They're pretending that it's him. It's
Alex.
someone else. They're playing some kind of trick, and they know I'd see through
Mrs.
it.
Boone, there's no mistake. I'm sorry.
It's true, Alex.
Now, Mrs. Barnes, you said you have information as to what the Colonel was doing in the village earlier this morning.
Yes. He was with me
At what time?
all night. I'm sorry. I did try. He was half drunk. He threatened to smash the
I
door
think the
down.
inspector is only really interested in matters relating directly to the Colonel's death.
What relates directly to the Colonel's death and what doesn't will be for me to decide, Father Brown. What time did he leave here?
I don't know. It was early. 6:30.
Your husband was away all night?
At Greenford. A revival meeting. We don't attend the same church. My husband's Presbyterian.
Does he know about you and the Colonel?
Inspector, I think that's a question more properly asked of Mr. Barnes.
Father Brown, you are being
Not
obstructive.
at all. He's at the door now. At least a man answering his description has just crossed the street.
They say Boone is dead. They say that thing by the church is what's left of him.
Are you Simeon Barnes?
Is he dead?
Yes.
Then he's damned.
Simeon, say nothing.
The righteous have no need for cunning. God guards his own in his pocket. When did that dog die in his sins?
I should moderate my language if I were you.
Moderate the Bible's language, I'll moderate mine. I asked, when did he die?
An hour ago.
Mr. Barnes, I will not ask you at this time and place what you know concerning the death of Colonel Boone. You are not bound to say. But I must go through the form of arresting you in the King's name for murder. No. And I must warn you that
An hour
anything...
ago, you say.
Between 6:30 and 7. Nearer 7. Father Brown!
Then God is good. You, policeman, whatever you are, you may arrest me to your heart's content. I do not mind leaving a court of law without a stain on my character. You may perhaps mind leaving it, shown up for a fool.
Mr. Barnes, I must ask you to accompany me...
Gladly, and if I was a heathen, I would let you walk onto your downfall. But as a Christian man, I'm bound to give you a chance and ask you whether you'll hear me out now or at the assizes.
Well,
I should listen to him, Inspector, if I were you.
Seems that even papists have more sense than the police. I left the revival meeting at Greenford at 6 this morning. 2 men from our church, God-fearing men from this village, kept me company on the road. Did not leave my side until 5 minutes ago.
Their names?
Samuel Marin, Josiah Sears.
Police constable, sires. Well, I must ask you to accompany me to the station all the same. Mr. Barnes, it shouldn't take long to verify your story.
Better not. I got a day's work to do. How was he killed?
With a hammer, Mr. Barnes. One of yours.
Will they let him go?
There's no evidence against him. There never was. No man wielded that hammer, Mrs. Barnes.
Did the vicar say when he would return?
Madam, I only know that he escorted Mrs. Boone home. She was distressed.
I can't think why. I shall write to him. With the bone of contention removed, there's no longer a reason why we shouldn't have the most successful garden fete yet.
You could put that woman's Christian chant into a thimble and have room left over.
Funny, only yesterday she was carrying on about Colonel Boone, saying as how if she were a man, she'd give him a proper thrashing. She don't need to be no man. See them arms of hers, thick as oak trees. You ever see her at a golf ball? Knock it clear across the county, she would. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a hammer what done the Colonel in, eh?
I tell you that it was. I must say I'm glad to see you're all taking the Colonel's death with such great good humour. How do you feel about it, Mr. Mallory?
Me?
Well, you should know by now I never gossip about my patients, but you will remember it was I who advised you to get your daughter away from here.
Are you taunting me with that?
No, I'm merely saying that you have as much reason as any man to be glad of what's happened. It's a thought that might occur to the police.
I'll tell you something, Doctor. If I'd wanted to kill him, I wouldn't have waited this long. I'd have done it then.
How is your daughter?
I don't know.
Aren't you in touch with her?
I haven't got a daughter no more, thanks to him. I reared her proper like her mother wasn't like I am. And then she goes and does this. Gets herself with this bastard and shames me before the village.
You made a mistake.
Maybe that's what doctors call it, a mistake. I tell you, I'd as soon have seen her dead.
And him, Colonel Boone?
Well, he is dead. I'll not mourn for him, and I won't be the only one. Let the police come and ask their questions. I'm a match for them.
Ah, Father, a drink?
Thank you, yes, a small ale, if I may. Is there a bus back to Threlford?
You missed one, sir. Next one's 12 o'clock.
You leaving us, Father?
Yes, I've done my errand. Perhaps I'll have time for a closer look at your church. Our people, you know, have a personal interest in old English churches.
And in murder?
As a sin, yes. Also, I must confess, a private weakness for puzzles.
Such as why the blacksmith should use a little hammer when there were 10 larger ones there for the taking.
The blacksmith has been cleared by the police.
The devil, you say? Well, that fits in with my own theory. You remember I said earlier that no one could have struck that blow? Well, obviously somebody must have. Well, why not a woman? A bold woman could commit 10 murders with a light hammer and never turn a hair, but with a heavy hammer she couldn't kill a beetle.
Are you talking about Mrs. Barnes?
Vicar, I'm glad you've come back. Have you heard? The blacksmith has been cleared.
But that cannot be if he didn't do it.
Listen to me. 9 times out of 10, the person who most hates the wife's lover is the wife herself. Now, take your brother and Mrs. Barnes. Now, who knows what treachery he may not have shown her?
No.
You didn't know
I
him.
mean that, like many doctors, your mental processes are sound enough. It's your physical science that's impossible. I agree that a woman will want to kill her lover more than her husband will. Indeed, she has more reason to. But no woman ever born could have smashed a skull like that.
No, of course not.
The man was wearing an iron helmet. The blow shattered it like glass. Have you looked at Mrs. Barnes? Have you looked at her arms?
You can say what you like, Father. I stand by what I said. No one but an idiot would use a little hammer when there was a larger one there.
Of course. That's it.
What's it?
No one but an idiot.
Well,
I am a priest, and a priest should be no shedder of blood. I mean, he should bring no one to the gallows. But I thank God that I see the criminal now. For he is a criminal who cannot be hanged.
you will not denounce him?
I must. But his life is spared. Mr. Briggs, ring up the inspector. Tell him we have his murderer here.
Now, yes, steady, steady.
Poor Joe. It should have occurred to me sooner.
You accuse him?
Father Brown, I was not the last to see my brother alive. When I left him and went into the church, he was tormenting Joe, throwing coins at him. It was one of his games. He could be cruel as thoughtlessly as another man would toss aside a cigarette end. Later, when he was dead, I saw Joe in the church. He had never been inside before in his life. He was praying.
And you think that Joe turned on him? Well, I grant you there would be motive enough, but...
Don't you see, Doctor? This answers both the riddles. The two riddles are the smallness of the hammer and the violence of the blow. The smith would have had the blow, but he would never have chosen that hammer. His wife would have chosen that hammer, but could not possibly have delivered the blow. Joe could have done both. A madman isn't given to logic. And have you never heard, Doctor, that a maniac can summon up the strength of 10 men?
Joe, that's it. Of course, it must be the answer.
Of course.
Father.
Mr. Boone, I really must congratulate you. Yours is the only theory yet propounded that holds water in every respect. It is quite unassailable.
I knew it.
I think, therefore, you deserve to be told on my positive knowledge that it's not the true one. That ale's very good. Thank you.
Not the true one.
Professional jealousy. You solved it and he didn't. These popish priests are as vain as women.
Inspector.
Oh. Be gentle with him, Inspector.
Now, my lad, I want a word with you about the Colonel. You know what I'm talking about, Joe, don't you? Just tell me what happened.
Now, don't be afraid, Joe. Tell the inspector.
You were with him when it happened, right, Joe? Yeah?
With a hammer.
You hit him with the hammer, right?
I'm glad to see you're a free man again, Mr. Barnes.
The Lord watches over the least of his children. I told them, the policeman, I am a strong man, it's true, sir. Even I could not have flung my hammer here from Greenford. A thing of wood and iron has not wings that it should fly a mile over hedges and fields.
Well, the inspector's not the man to be without a culprit for long. He'll arrest that poor idiot, Joe.
Oh, fool, leave it then!
You know the criminal, Mr. Barnes?
I believe that one that walks invisible in every house defended the honor of mine and laid the defiler dead at the door of it. I believe the force in that blow was just the force there is in earthquakes, and no force less.
A law of nature. Yes.
The inspector is convinced. I mean that it was Joe.
Yes. Yes, I thought he would be.
But you, sir, seem to have some secrets in this dark business. May I ask, are you going to keep them to yourself?
Doctor, there's a very good reason why a man of my trade should keep things to himself when he's not sure about them. Because it's his duty to keep them to himself when he is sure about them. But with you, I will go to the extreme limit of my custom. I'll give you two very large hints.
Very good of you.
The blacksmith said the blow came about by miracle. It did not, except insofar as man is himself a miracle, with his strange, wicked, yet half-heroic heart. The force that smashed that skull is a force well known to scientists. Indeed, one of the most frequently debated laws of nature.
And the second hint?
The blacksmith told the inspector that his hammer did not have wings to fly a mile across country.
Well?
Well, he came very near to the truth then, without knowing it. Excuse me. Might be a map of the world, mightn't it?
Yes.
I think there's something very dangerous about these high places, even to pray from.
You mean that one may fall over?
I mean that one's soul may fall, even if one's body doesn't.
I scarcely understand you, Father. Catholic dogma.
And that blacksmith, he's a good man, but not a Christian. Hard, imperious, unforgiving. His religion was made up by men who prayed on high places, on hills and high crags, who learned to look down on the world rather than to look up at heaven. Humility is the mother of giants. One sees great things from the valley, and only small things from the peak.
The blacksmith is innocent.
Oh, yes, 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 indeed, yes. You know, Vicar, I once knew a man who began like other men worshipping before the altar. And then he grew fond of high places to pray from. Nooks and corners, the belfry or the spire. And one day, in one of those dizzy places, the whole world seemed to turn below him like a wheel. His brain turned also, and he fancied he was God. So that although he was a good man, he committed a great crime. He took it upon himself to judge the world and to strike down the sinner. Now, he'd never have had such a thought had he been kneeling with other men on the floor. He saw all men crawling about like insects, and one in particular, strutting just below him, insolent, evident by a bright green hat. Also, he had in his hands one of the most awful engines of nature. I mean, gravitation. That mad and quickening rush by which all Earth's creatures fly back to her heart when released. You know, Reverend, if I were to toss a pebble over this parapet, it would come to Earth with the force of a bullet. If I were to drop a hammer, even a small one. No, no.
Let me go. Let me go.
Not by that door. That door leads to hell.
How do you know all this? Are you a devil?
I'm a man. Therefore have all devils in my heart. I know what you did, Vicar. At least I can guess the great part of it. When your brother turned his back on you to torment the idiot Joe, you snatched up the hammer to kill him. Your own impulse horrified you, and you fled into the church. You came up here to pray. You saw your brother's hat below you, crawling about like a green beetle. And something snapped in your soul. You let God's thunderbolt fall. Unhappily, with the accuracy of the devil.
How did you know it looked like a beetle?
Well, that was common sense. But hear me further. I know all this, but no one else shall. The next step is for you. I'll seal this with a seal of confession. I leave things to you because as yet you have not yet gone very far wrong as assassins go. True, you tried to blame the idiot Joe, but you knew he couldn't suffer death for it. That's one of the gleams it's my business to find in assassins now. Let's go down into the village. I have a bus to catch. You may go your own way, as free as the wind. I said my last word.
Inspector, I wish to give myself up. I have killed my brother.